Hello, and welcome to TWP, episode 19. We took a little time off after the Browns season ended, and speaking of the Browns season, we figured we'd go ahead and recap the Browns season. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the biggest plays, most impactful plays from each week. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bengals trying to convert. Burrow. Tossed down! Myles Garrett gets home!
Myles Garrett sacks Joe Burrow in this lovely, rainy Cleveland day. And I think we scored shortly after this. This was kind of a nail in the coffin kind of play, though, where all the momentum we had kind of climaxed here. And it was official. We had beaten the Bengals in week 1, and we were really riding high entering week 2. Now, week 2's most impactful play is a bit different. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Good things here in this game. Here's Chubb trying to pick his way inside the 5, and he does. Knocked down at the 3. Ball came out, but he was down. Minkah Fitzpatrick gets the tackle, but a gain of 5. And the last thing any Browns fan wants to see, Nick Chubb holding his left leg.
Oh, boy.
And Minkah Fitzpatrick is down for the Steelers.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. This was probably the most devastating play of the whole season. Nick Chubb, our star running back, goes down. And we ended up losing this game. And I feel like after this play, even though it was early second quarter, it really took the wind out of our sails. And I think everybody was pretty emotionally affected after that. Now, week 3, we bounced back against the Titans. We have a nice little highlight here from Deshaun.
Really credit the entire defense. They came to play today.
Play action from Watson's going to take the shot. Cooper wide open. Touchdown.
Yeah, I would say this is one of Deshaun's 2 cleanest games on the schedule that we had this year. It wasn't against a great opponent, but we really let the Titans have it this week. We were really riding high heading into week 4 against the Ravens, where we thought Deshaun was going to be starting, but it ended up being DTR. Let's take a look at this clip.
Hamilton and Stone. The throw. Off the deflection, the Ravens have the pick. Brandon Stevens in the right spot, and he's running with it. Stevens working down the sideline. Cuts it inside. Stevens has blockers. Tripped up deep in Cleveland territory. Turnover Browns. 51 yards on the return.
So maybe not the biggest highlight of the game, but DTR was definitely not ready to play. 2 hours notice. They really stuck it to the rookie this week. And heading into the bye week, 2-2, más o menos, not feeling great, but not feeling terrible. Our next matchup was against the 49ers. And they were undefeated at this point. They looked pretty unbeatable. So we've got a fun highlight here for you.
As the Wolverines beat the Illinois Fighting Illini, this one bigger stakes here for the win.
Moody, no good!
But I think it's celebration here.
Yeah, the entire Browns team ran on the field like that was a walk-off miss, but there's still time left. They got to come out and still take a knee. That's what the flags were.
He was a highly drafted kicker, but a rookie kicker at that.
Wow. We were able to take out the unbeatable 49ers with PJ Walker at the helm. And yes, we got a little luck from Michigan alum Jake Moody missing wide right at the end there, but wow. I mean, I think that was the toughest matchup we had all season, and to be able to win with probably our worst quarterback that played all year, PJ Walker, this team was resilient. This defense was elite, and this was the first time we really got to believe that. Now, our next matchup was against a very feisty Indianapolis team. They gave us everything they had. Deshaun started this game, but the highlight of this game, or the most impactful play from this game, is not a Deshaun highlight. Let's go ahead and take a look.
To potentially change the outcome. 1st and goal.
Walker from the gun throws back in the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Peoples-Jones, and another flag.
Number 39.
I don't like this one, Spiro.
By rule, first down at the 1 yard line.
I don't like anything about that call because, listen, they're hand fighting and that ball.
Now, I picked that for the most impactful play because there was a string of penalties against the Colts here that were questionable to say the least, and the Browns ended up punching it in after they got the ball on the 1 yard line with under 20 seconds left to go. Kareem Hunt punched it in for the go-ahead touchdown. Sometimes you got to get lucky with the calls. And at 4-2, the Browns were feeling confident. They were feeling like it doesn't matter who plays at quarterback, but their next game proved it does.
Pressure coming from Adams, and that's batted, and it is picked off! Julian Love, the interception at the biggest moment, and finally Jamal Adams when they needed it.
With the lead that late in the game, what are you doing throwing? And when PJ Walker is the quarterback, why is he throwing at all? Oh, this was a tough loss that I think could have been managed better. But brought us down to 4-3. So our next matchup is against the Cardinals. We were hoping that we would get a Browns versus Josh Dobbs reunion game, but he was traded to the Vikings just before this game happened. So the Cardinals ended up starting Clayton Tune, which with our defense made it seem like it would be a guaranteed victory. Let's go ahead and take a look at the most impactful play from this game.
Watson's going to work from the gun here on 3rd and 6. They protect. Watson puts him there under it, takes a shot. Beautiful pass. It's Cooper. An absolute gem from Watson. They pick up 49.
Wow. I mean, you forget how many deep balls Amari caught this year. Yeah, he made it to the Pro Bowl, but I think that Joe Flacco stint at the end of the season made us forget how great his entire year was. We really took it to him. And at 5-3, we were starting to get some swagger, get some confidence with whoever was at quarterback. And the Deshaun injuries had lingered. And we were set up for our AFC North rematch against the Baltimore Ravens. What I think was the biggest game for the Cleveland Browns this year. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlight.
Browns with touchdowns on their last 2 possessions. Deflected, picked off, and taken back by Newsome. Newsome stayed in bounds. Touchdown. Wow.
So Greg Newsome's first interception in the NFL ends up being a pick 6, which couldn't have come at a more crucial time. There were a lot of fantastic highlights from this game. This was Deshaun's best half of football, the second half of this game. And we were really starting to believe that here he is, the quarterback we paid for. And then after this week, we got the news that he was done for the year, which I think a lot of Browns fans took as our season is over. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next highlight and see if our season was over.
Snap. Hopkins sweeps the leg. It's perfect. Cleveland takes the lead.
Man, it always feels good to beat the Steelers. Dustin Hopkins with the late field goal. You know, the Steelers went 5-1 against the AFC North this year. The only quarterback they lost to, 5th-round rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Good for the kid. We'll see what we have with him in the future. But he had to step up a few times this year, and he did his best. Speaking of Dorian, let's go ahead and take a look at the most impactful play from the following game.
Robinson has time. Nobody open. Flushed. Dancing all the way back to the goal line. DTR hit hard as he gets rid of it.
Oh, dude, he got smacked.
And here comes a whistle. In fact, there was a timeout before the snap. Yeah.
First charge, timeout, Los Angeles. 30 seconds.
He's a younger.
First down.
He led with his shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I mean, I know that we are protecting quarterbacks, and I get it.
Brutal high hit there. Knocked him out of the game. PJ Walker ended up coming back in. I like to point that play out because I feel like Dorian was building some momentum there. The Browns were as a whole coming back in this game. And I really think that we had it in us to at least make this a close game down to the wire. But when he got knocked out, the floodgates really opened. The Broncos ended up winning by what looked like a lot. So our next matchup actually is against the Rams with Joe Flacco's first start. So this final chapter of the Browns season starts off in LA, similar to the last highlight.
From the 21-yard line on first down, off the play fake again. Flacco will step up, pressure coming, heaves it to the sideline, and it's going to be intercepted. Picked off by John Johnson III. He'll return it across midfield. Inside the 40, reverses at the 35. Johnson still going inside the 25 before Jerron Christian can finally bring him down.
Oh, Joe, what were you thinking? Gosh, some foreshadowing maybe. Yeah, I think I like to point this play out because similar to last game, we were making a comeback. We were only down 1 point. We should have been tied, but Dustin Hopkins missed an extra point here. But we got the ball back, and on the very first play of the drive, for no good reason in particular, Joe Flacco threw an ugly interception. Oh, and Browns fans all around really were not confident that things were going to get better, as our 7-3 record had now plummeted to 7-5. Heading into a really tough matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's take a look at the highlight.
They're going to snap it. Flacco throws. Open man. Could go. David Bell. Touchdown. A brilliant play call. And the Browns.
Oh, what a highlight. This was the beginning of the Flacco magic. David Bell, completely under the radar receiver, slips the coverage, wide open, walks in a 41-yard touchdown. We took down a team at this point that had a lot of momentum and a lot of people were worried about. They were close to the number 1 seed in the AFC at the time. If not, they were. And this put them on a bit of a losing streak, if I recall correctly. Our next matchup was against the Chicago Bears, who were a scrappy team this year. They fought hard, and this was a hard-fought game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlight.
3rd and 15. Flacco off his back foot. Njoku is there. He's got the first down and more. Spinning down the sidelines. The tight end inside the 20.
Yeah, the Flacco magic continues, and this was the start of him igniting David Njoku into one of the best tight ends in the game. Man, did he look good the last couple weeks of this season. That first down led to the game-leading field goal, which ended up being a game-winning field goal, taking us to 9-5. Our next matchup was a playoff preview, but the Texans were short C.J. Stroud, so things went a little bit differently this week. Let's look at the most impactful play.
Being in the locker room again and being the leader of a team that could go to the playoffs.
Fake the handoff. Flacco, deep shot on first down, looking for the big play, and it's caught by Cooper! Down at the 5!
Joe Flacco started to unlock Amari Cooper. Amari had an incredible game here. He finished with 265 yards and 2 touchdowns, breaking the Browns' single-game receiving record. We absolutely torched them. This was Christmas Eve, I believe. And what a fantastic gift it was to watch us put a whooping on this Texans team. The Browns headed into the next week with the ability to clinch if they won. So let's go ahead and take a look at the highlight.
Is now out. Marquise Goodwin comes in as the wide out to look for, and Flacco almost gets sacked. There he goes, throws on the run, caught inside the 30, inside the 20 goes Jerome Ford. Still on his feet. Ford looking for the end zone. Gets there.
At this point, I was completely in the camp of Joe Flacco could lead us to the Super Bowl. I mean, he was making smart choices. He was making highlight plays, but to get hit in the face, to avoid the pressure, make a nice dump pass on the run. I mean, this game is full of awesome highlights. And Amari Cooper sat out this week, and everybody thought we'd take a step back as an explosive offense, but we just did not. And Joe Flacco really shined in this game on Thursday night as the Browns clinched the playoffs. Our record improved to 11-5, and meaning we got to sit a lot of players in Week 18. So Week 18, we faced the Bengals. Let's go ahead and take a look at the most impactful play from this game.
Kareem Hunt checks in for the first time. He's not going to get many reps today. Driscoll lofts it to the near side of the field, and it's intercepted by the Bengals. Jordan Battle kept his feet in bounds.
So yeah, Jeff Driscoll, our 5th starting quarterback of the season, one of 2 teams ever to make the playoffs with 5 different starting quarterbacks ever. He threw a pick early, and the Bengals didn't look back. Yeah, they put a whooping on us. Our 2 touchdowns late kind of made it look better than it was. This was a bloodbath, but it didn't matter. We were resting people. This was our practice squad. This would have been our freshman team. This wasn't even our JV team. So at 11-6, the Browns headed into the playoffs against the Texans team that they had pretty recently just whooped. But again, they were missing Will Anderson, CJ Stroud, Grenard, their edge rusher. So they got a lot of weapons back for this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlight.
Flacco. Pressure comes, gets rid of it. It's picked off. Steven Nelson takes it away, and he's looking to go the other way. Nelson has a convoy down the sideline. Touchdown.
And just like that, the lights were turned off on the Cleveland Browns for the 2023 season. It was a lovely run. You know, we fought hard in the first half of this game. I think we got some bad calls, but that happens. I thought we were in position to make a bit of a run here, and Joe Flacco threw back-to-back pick sixes, actually. And the door was shut faster than I thought it could be. But all in all, I mean, we had the cake. We made it to the playoffs. We thought we had a chance at some icing, and we really didn't. Too many injuries. We lost our top 3 tackles. We lost our star running back. We lost, hopefully, our star quarterback. And we had 5 different quarterbacks start a game this year. I mean, this team felt the brunt of one of the highest injury rates for the whole NFL. And, you know, it affected the Cleveland Browns just as much as anybody else. But I hope people can watch this and remember the times that they really believed in this team. And feel good about next year, because I feel good about next year. It's taken obviously it's taken some time to process the loss. It stung pretty bad, but I think we have the core of something special here in Cleveland. Jim Schwartz on the defense, Kevin Stefanski, hopefully coach of the year. Myles Garrett just won defensive player of the year. Let's go, Myles. I hope this video brings you closure. Cleveland, sweet Cleveland, we love you. We'll always be here to root for you. Bring us a winner next year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like, share, subscribe, talk some trash. We'll see you next time.